Creating content can feel really challenging, really arduous, and really frustrating, especially when you are a business trying to reach out to other businesses. You're looking around at all these influencers and all these social channels, and you're like, we can't do any of that because we sell a business service to other businesses, and we are way too boring and way too straightforward. We're not going to be doing dances on TikTok. We're not going to be putting out beauty shots on Instagram. And basically, we're not really sure what to do to help us create content, and do we need to? Hi, my name is Andrea Borcha, and I'm the founder of Dia Creative, a full-service digital marketing agency that focuses on startups and small to medium-sized businesses. And this is a marketing mastery series that we've created for YouTube to share over 20 years of marketing experience personally, and to share everything we're learning from all of our clients right now, everything we're trying and optimizing for to help grow our client businesses. And I am leaning on my team to help share their expertise as well. And that's what I'll be sharing with you. So make sure to like and subscribe and join us for more. We're also on Instagram and on TikTok. And if you have any marketing challenges or questions at all, please make sure to leave them in the comments below, because I'm always looking for new ways to make videos to help you out. Okay, let's talk B2B content. There are a number of different channels you can use very effectively as B2B. What you might be happy to hear is that LinkedIn is your primary and might be the only social media channel that you need to participate in. YouTube also makes a great channel, and Twitter, depending on what industry you're in. For the rest, it's hit or miss if it's actually a good use of your time to be building out content. The other really important place that you should be adding content is your own website. Let's break that down. When I like to start on a B2B content strategy, I like to start with a content calendar. Now, this calendar should map out every single channel that is relevant to your business. How do you know if it's relevant to your business? Is that where your target market spends its time? And is that where your target market gets valuable information? At the end of the day, we all know that your VPs and your CEOs are probably spending time on Facebook and Instagram, but I don't know that they want to necessarily be hit with your particular product or service while they're scrolling through their pictures of their grandkids or their siblings or dog videos. Building out a B2B content calendar starts with understanding your target market. Who are you trying to target? Who are you trying to talk to? Who are you trying to sell to? What is their unique problem that you solve, and how do you uniquely solve it? So let's say you're looking at your content calendar and it's blank and you have no idea with what to fill it. So now I've told you want to start with a content calendar. The calendar has all the different channels that you should focus on, which is potentially LinkedIn, your website, and your email newsletter. Let's start very simple with just those three. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can fill this calendar with a couple really simple themes. One, let's break it down by your unique selling proposition. Going back to your core marketing principles, who is your target market? What is their problem? And how do you uniquely solve it? Let's go through exactly how you uniquely solve it. What other aspects of your software, your service, your product can you talk about? What innovations are you making? Who at your company is involved in what aspect of the product? How are your other customers or clients using your product or service or software? All of that becomes really great content because it helps your potential leads see themselves using your product or your service or your software. They see themselves relating because they can see how it's innovating, how it solves their problem, and how you've solved other people's problems that are just like them. Break it down by the industry. So every industry has its unique challenges, and you could go much broader to become a trusted resource for your target market in their industry. Let's break it down even further. Let's say you work with mortgage brokers. That's your target market. What challenges does a mortgage broker face day to day in doing their job, in optimizing how they serve their clients? How does this target market mortgage broker serve their clients? What industry knowledge do they need to have to do a good job? At the end of the day, anything that you offer as a B2B is meant to help somebody else do their job better. So if you're looking at your industry as a whole, or even if you niche down to a very specific sector of that industry that you serve, how do you serve them? What else can you offer them? What can you do to help them be better at their job and have more success. And here's the kicker: even if your product specifically does not solve everything in that industry or solve the specific content you're talking about. Let me say that again. You have a product that solves a very specific problem for mortgage brokers, let's say. You can write content about the entire mortgage broker industry, even if it's unrelated to your product, because you are building trust with your target market that you actually care about their success. So don't be afraid that everything you talk about has to do with your product. In fact, they're probably gonna get really sick of hearing it at some point. But if you give them valuable research and insights and learnings that you have about their industry that help them do their job better, you become that trusted friend of theirs, that trusted resource. When you're ready to upsell them or sell them into something, or you're building that relationship so they feel comfortable with what you're selling, they're gonna come to you before any of your competitors because you've already done a favor for them by teaching them and training them something that they didn't have access to before. Sprinkling in case studies. Case studies can actually be a really impactful way to generate content across a lot of channels. Case studies can make really great content, especially in the last, I'd say, 7 to 8 years of B2B content. Case studies are being created even if there wasn't necessarily a learning. Case studies were a way for professionals to share what they've learned, either through using their software, their product, their service, as they've been serving different customers in different industries. So for example, a great case study is if you've been working in a very specific industry and then you tried your software in a new industry, that would make a really great case study. What has been happening more recently in the last, I'd say, 5 to 7 years is every single customer or client that goes through becomes a case study, which feels like it devalues a bit of what the case study is. So when you're looking back at creating your B2B content strategy, really pick out the case studies that have something impactful to share. And if you are struggling to find what is impactful to share, go back through that entire experience with that client and see what made that a unique learning. What if someone were to join your company tomorrow with no knowledge of your specific product, but some basic knowledge of your industry? What case studies would you give them to train them more on your industry? That will help you understand what the value of the case study is. Go through all your case studies. That's all valuable information. Going back to my previous point about educating your target market, that becomes really useful for them because that's something that they can then take internally to the rest of their company, to their boss, and say, hey, they tried this on this industry. I know we've never tried this software before, but this could actually go really well for us too. That's all you're trying to put out there. Focus on questions, issues, and concerns that are common in your industry. Exploring any sort of B2B industry, like let's say transportation, there are very specific questions, issues, concerns that come up in the transportation industry, especially any industry that in any way works with regulations or the government. There are nuances that change all the time. And if you are keeping up to date on that and providing that content, that's a great way to just keep filling your content calendar. I assure you things have changed month over month, or you've found more innovative ways of leveraging the industrial atmosphere or regulatory atmosphere of the industry, and that's the kind of stuff you're going to want to share. Now, looking at your calendar as a whole, it might feel a little overwhelming to see all these different channels and how you're going to create content for it. I'm going to let you in on one of our biggest secrets for how we manage content. Start with one piece of content, just one. Ideally, one of your longest form pieces of content, whether that's your blog post, a case study, a white paper, start with that. Typically from one decent sized blog post, we can generate 3 to 5 social media posts and at least 2 email newsletters. You can be doing the same thing. So when you're looking at the calendar, just focus on having maybe 1 or 2 of those master pieces of content per month. And then from that, break it down into little bite-sized chunks for social media, or break it down into a newsletter that joins these different concepts together. That way, regardless of where your target market wants to consume their content, they're still getting the value of the content that you're providing without having to go back to just reading a white paper. Maybe I just don't have time to read a white paper, but you've given me the bullet pointed version on social media. Or I don't go to social media, I don't have time to see your site, or I haven't thought about your company in a while, and then an email newsletter comes in that really entices me and gets me exactly to the article that I want to read, that makes the biggest impact on me and my business. The final tip I'm going to give you is one that we're going to explore a little bit more in our intent-based SEO video. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to do that. I know I harp on your target market quite a bit across all of my videos, but this is where it's very, very critical. You are B2B, which means you understand your sales process. You know the common questions that come up in your sales process. Every single one of those questions throughout your sales process can become a great piece of content. And what's more importantly is if those questions are coming up in your sales process, they're also the questions that people are searching on Google, Bing, Yahoo. Because you're going through your sales process and understanding these questions, you should make content that answer those specific questions. Because of all the sales leads that you're not talking to, they're going to their search engines, typing in that question, and they can find that article or that blog post or that case study that answers that specific question, and that becomes a great lead generation tool. Speaking of case studies, here's one of ours. We're currently working with a B2B software company, and they really wanted to generate more leads. We decided to do that mostly through content. We decided to focus on one specific industry that they serve. And mind you, they serve a bunch of different industries, but we decided to niche down, focus just on one target market and one target industry, and develop out a landing page that specifically addressed the concerns of that industry and incentivized them to participate on the website, to enter in their information and to talk to our sales team, because we had done the research and found a very lucrative offer specifically for that industry. A very lucrative offer specifically for that industry that we became experts in. So we could train them on how to take advantage of the program that would help their particular company in that industry. A landing page just isn't going to be enough though. So after the landing page, we also built out an email sequence series that goes off of that. So they put in their email address to learn more about how to leverage this for their business. This leads them to an email sequence that also puts them on the radar of the local sales rep that can contact them when ready. Because we already had this landing page ready to go, we could leverage all of their social media channels as well and put regular posts at different angles so it didn't feel like the same post all the time, generating traffic back to that landing page. And if you want to get even fancier, you can throw a little bit of money at ads and also send traffic to that landing page, which then fills out the rest of the content. All of this just started with one little nugget that we found that would be really thinking through what our target customer could do to stand out, to be better in their industry, to impress their boss. We found that one little bit of information, expanded it into a landing page, an email series, and social media posts. And you can do the same thing for your business. So all in all, just remember, just because you're B2B does not mean that you can ignore content. Content is still going to be a really strong tool for your business, and hopefully I've made it a little bit easier for you. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. If you have any marketing challenges or questions, make sure to add them below. I'm Andrea Borcha, founder of Dia Creative, and if you need any marketing help whatsoever, feel free to reach out at diacreative.com. Thanks for watching.